Hey there, welcome to Technability. This is part 2 of the HTC One versus iPhone 5S. So clearly you see on the right hand side we have the HTC One, on the left hand side we have the iPhone 5S. If you haven't already seen part 1, I'll post a link in the description below, you could check that out. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and cover a few other features today which we weren't able to get to in part 1 because again I do want to make this very comprehensive and detailed, or as detailed as possible, especially for those who are kind of on the fence between these two specific devices, because in many ways they're similar. As you can see with the build quality, they're fairly similar. They have that whole aluminum unibody build. Very high quality, very durable, feels great in the hand. Again, you can watch part 1 for more details on the build quality. So I do want to go ahead and cover other features such as third-party apps, as well as the camera, which I think is quite important, and a lot of people are definitely interested to see the quality of the HTC One camera versus the quality of the iPhone 5S camera. Just to give you an idea what both of them are, the HTC One is a 4 Ultra pixel camera with single flash. It's basically got wider lens to take wider shots, better low light images. So that's the HTC One. And then with the iPhone 5S you have a 8 megapixel camera with dual LED flash. Again, same situation, you got a wider lens. It's the same 8 megapixel that you find on the 5, but it's got a wider lens, so it takes better low light shots. Alright, let's go ahead and just do a quick comparison here of both of them. So let's go ahead and pan the camera up here. Okay, see the nice plants. You can see both cameras here. Just right off the bat, the HTC One does get a little bit more of area, of course, obviously due to the fact that it's a little bit bigger of a lens, but also because the display is bigger. So you can see right there, just like panning them around like that, the quality is pretty solid on both. I know it's kind of hard to see in the camera, but if I was to go ahead and take the HTC One here, start out with the HTC One, just pinch, you could zoom in, zoom out. Alright, you can take a photo. Pretty quick, actually very quick. You can do burst shot, Of course you can rotate around. See how large the image is there. Okay, it's saving the photos, the burst photos that I just took, and you can see actually automatically takes you to best shot. You can see all the burst shot images that I took. You could delete it, choose best shot. If you choose best shot, it's going to automatically choose the one that's just best quality overall, basically. Alright, you can see I could rotate it around. You have various filters here. So for example, there's this filter which kind of emphasizes on one specific area and blurs out the rest. So I could take a picture here. Okay, let's see how that image came out. You know, it's really good quality. It's not bad for what it is, for 4 megapixel. The only thing is when you zoom into 100% or crop to 100%, that's when you start noticing the difference in quality and you start noticing a bit of graininess. But for the most part, the quality is pretty solid. Alright, and again, you could zoom in, you could zoom out. You have various different options right here. Scene, night, HDR. You got sweep panorama. Again, you got various different scenes. So you could do slow motion video as well. That's available here as well as fast HD, video HDR. Let's go ahead and look at slow motion video here. Alright, so we got slow motion video recording. Again, you could zoom in and zoom out while you're recording video. Take a picture as you're recording. There's Jonathan right there. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just do the slow motion video here. Okay, let's stop. Let's go ahead and take a look at that video. Okay. Some issue there with the volume, but see the slow motion. And you can fast forward, obviously rewind. You can take a picture while it's playing, so that's really cool. You could speed it up by just pushing that little button right there. Let's go ahead and go back here. Go back to the camera. Go back to the features here. Go to scene. Normal. Whoops. Normal, portrait, landscape, backlight, text, macro, night, HDR, sweep panorama. We already went through all that. Alright, so slow motion video. Let's go ahead and just do normal video here. Okay, and of course you got all these other features such as ISO, white balance, continuous shooting, which is basically burst shot. You got various different camera options, face detection, auto smell capture. You got shutter options. You got the grid, auto upload, reset to default. So quite a few features here with the HTC Sense 5 camera. And one of the things with this camera is that if you're, like, let's say your native brightness is set at 50%, the camera is always going to up the brightness to 100%. So when you're in the camera app, the brightness will be shot up to 100%. So you can see me zooming in and zooming out. Alright, this is basically full zoom. Zoom out. Let's go ahead and actually test the flash here. I know it's broad daylight, but we can Test this out here. Okay. See a flash image, bright flash, good quality, solid. Videos do sometimes, pictures do sometimes tend to come out a bit bright, but for the most part the quality is very good. I actually do like the camera on the HTC One. A lot of critics have given it flack, but I think for what it is and for what it's worth, that's actually pretty solid quality. Now the iPhone 5S is a little bit more simplistic in the features that it offers and whatnot. Now, obviously you could say I could pinch in, pinch out, and the quality when you're zoom in, again full 100%, is a little bit better because you have the 8 megapixel as opposed to the 4 on the HTC One. And you can see, of course, I could take pictures like this. You just hold it and do the burst shot thing. And you do have the filters here, so you can actually see the filters while you're taking an image, which is a cool little feature there. Close out of the filters. You have square, all right, and you have panorama, of course. So you can see panorama here. If I just do a panorama picture, see how that works right here. Okay. Kind of hard to do on recording, but. Alright, so that's panorama. Alright, again, let's go back. You can see square, you can see photo, you can see video. Obviously, while you're recording a video, you could pinch in and pinch out and take pictures as you're recording. Cool little feature there. And the new thing here with the iPhone 5S is slow motion. So you do have slow motion video here. You can see how I'm kind of just panning it around and doing the whole slow motion thing. And it's 120 frames per second, so it's really, really good quality. Let me go ahead and just play that here for you guys. So you do have slow motion video. I don't know if you guys could hear that. It sounds like a growling demon, but okay. And you could, obviously pan back and whatnot. So let's go back to done. Go back to photo here. Take a flash photo. Okay, let's see what the flash looks like. You can see the flash photo. Again, the quality is just a little bit better, a little bit more sharp and clear, because again, you do have the 8 megapixel camera. So if I was to just kind of zoom in full, you can see the quality still stays true to the photo. So that's a nice little thing there. I mean, I got to give it up to Apple with this camera. They did a good job with the 5S camera. I think it's definitely improved. Are you going to notice a difference right off the bat with this and say the iPhone 5? I don't know, probably not. But in comparison to the HTC One, you can definitely see a difference. Now, is the HTC One good enough for a mobile phone experience in terms of its camera? Sure, it absolutely is. I mean, no doubt about it. Both have very good comprehensive cameras, and I didn't show you guys the front-facing camera here. You can see, you just click here, you click there, you got the front-facing cameras. Okay. All right, so that's the front-facing camera. Okay. Go home. Alright, so that's the camera. Now, obviously I'm a fan of both phones, so I don't have one particular winner. I can use both. If I was to have either or of these devices at any given time, I can use both cameras and I wouldn't have any complaints. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at some third-party apps and games. Go ahead and get started here with Temple Run Part 2. Let's go ahead and see which one opens faster. Again, if you're wondering about specs, go ahead and watch Part 1. I explain all of these specs and all of that information in Part 1, which is down in the description below. Okay, you see the iPhone opened up a little bit faster. Okay, let's go ahead and actually just push play. Pretty much equal. I really don't notice a difference in terms of quality and graphics. Oops. I feel like they're both very similar. Yeah, very similar actually. Now that look at these things close up, it's very hard to discern a difference here, really. Obviously, you have more screen real estate with the HTC One, both running at a solid frame rate. I'm trying to play both at the same time. Not easy to do, guys. Believe me, it's not. But I'm doing it. Look at that, I'm still going. Let's see how far I could go here, playing both at the same time. Ah, alright, that was it. Alright, so that's Temple Run 2 here on both devices. Let's go ahead and zoom out, exit out, see which one. Actually, here, let me show you guys something. You can actually access the notification center here and the control center here with with iOS, whereas with Android you can't, but some iterations of Android you could. So that really based on the UI, whether you're on stock, TouchWiz, Sense, etc. Alright, so let's go ahead and exit out of here. Okay, so you can see the HTC One was, well, actually because I had the control center, but the HTC One does exit out of apps a little bit faster. Let me actually go ahead and show you guys what I mean by that. Let's go back to Temple Run 2. Okay, alright, let's just go ahead and, you can see it's slightly a bit faster. So because it doesn't have the fancy animations, so that's definitely something there. So let's go ahead and look at Doodle Jump. Sounds like he's saying dirty rum or something. Solid frame rates. Very hard to play with. Yeah. There you go. Both are good. I mean, both are solid. Both run pretty equal. Again, let's go ahead and exit out of both. A little bit faster on the Android. So let's go ahead and open Blitz. Bejeweled. Pretty much equal on both. Again, just to emphasize, notification center, control center. You know, can't do that here, but let's go ahead and exit out. Right, so that's Bejeweled. There it is, Hangouts. Let's go ahead and open Hangouts. So you got Google Hangouts here. Let's get started. I haven't logged in here, but you can see they're both very similar in any case. They both have the same type of gesture-based system and whatnot. So let's go ahead and exit out. You can see notifications here. Just basically swipe away. Here with iOS, you actually just got to X them out. You can see that, X them out. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and look at both calculators. Okay, again, simple calculators, nothing fancy schmancy over there. All right, let's listen to some audio here and test out the speakers. Boom Sound speakers. There's a 17, Steve Nicks. Some good music, guys.
I've been trying to do it right. I've been living a lonely life. I've been sleeping here instead. I've been sleeping in my bed. Sleeping in my bed.
You guys ever play Tony Hawk? It's just a little bit more clear on the HTC One. I mean, the iPhone does sometimes come out a bit louder for whatever reason, but with Beats Audio enabled, you can see the Beats Audio icon, it's just a little bit more crisp and clear on the One. And that's obviously due to the Boom Sound speakers, dual front-facing Boom Sound speakers, which again is common sense. I believe they should have done that a long time ago, but finally they enabled that here with the HTC One, and we really like that feature. We already covered the gallery in part 1. Alright, we went ahead and covered a few third-party games. Technability, I'm Barrage, and we have two monsters of smartphones here with the Galaxy Mega 6.3 right here and the Galaxy Note 2 right here. Quality is fantastic on the HTC One. So these two phones are currently out in the market. Obviously, and you know the iPhone's still doing its thing, but it's basically the same thing with the loading. Leather stitching, backplate, etc. But we wanted to go ahead and emphasize the Note 2 and the Mega right here because the Mega is coming to AT&T. Obviously, if I had music, you would have iTunes and some music installed here on the iPhone, but I don't, and that's you know, probably because it's only a 16 gigabyte. I got 32 here, so I'm able to put more music here. Again, you don't have external storage on each, so that might be an issue to some people. All right, notification center, obviously control center, which is similar to the quick settings panel here on Android. We already covered that in part 1. And that's pretty much it for this for this second part of the HTC One versus iPhone 5s. I'm going to be doing this. There's a reason why I didn't do Google Now and Siri. I'm going to do a separate video for that, specifically emphasizing on those two voice command systems, because I've realized a lot of different things about both of them, and benefits and certain things that differentiate them from one another. I've realized a few things, and I've actually come to find a few things that I wasn't aware of before with Google Now that I do want to showcase on a separate video against Siri. So I'm going to do that in a separate part. It's going to be, 5 to 8 minute video, basically just asking multiple different questions, and I think you guys will be surprised on the things that it can answer and the things that it actually says to you. So look out for that. That's basically a mini part 3. Otherwise, I've pretty much covered everything I wanted to cover here on this part. If you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them below in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching Technability. Check out technability.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We got some other great comparisons coming up with the 5S as well as the HTC One. We got some other handsets that we're going to be getting in soon. The One Max when it comes out, the Note 3, the G2, the Moto X, everything that we can get our hands on, the Nexus 5. And we're going to be doing custom ROM videos, how-tos, and all sorts of really great stuff. So look out for that, guys. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. I'm Berge. Have yourself a safe weekend.